How spicy is too spicy when it comes to vintage? I'm asking for a me. I'm asking for a me here. Okay, Phil Gallagher, ThrabenU, Vintage League, Elves, Survival of the Fittest, Elves at that. Okay? So Michael A has sent me an absolutely wild deck list that I've made minimal changes to. I don't know where to start. I guess we'll start with the namesake card. We're playing Survival Elves, so this is Survival of the Fittest. This is a rather unfair card that lets you discard a creature card to tutor for a different creature card. Okay? So, the goal with this deck list is to activate Survival of the Fittest, put an Anger into the graveyard, giving all of our creatures haste, and then ultimately use a Gaea's Cradle or a Priest of Titania to get a bunch of mana and activate an Allosaurus Shepherd and create a large number of hasty elves that are 5/5 dinosaurs. Okay? So this is our game plan. Now, it's vintage, so our opponents are doing broken stuff. So we have to try to do broken stuff too. And we also have to stop our opponents from doing the broken stuff. So rather than constructing this like Legacy Elves where we have Glimpse of Nature and Natural Order, we are going to try to disrupt our opponents via Thoughtseize and a number of tutor targets off of Survival of the Fittest, such as Leovold, Endurance, Rexage, and Grist. We do have a way to kind of cheat Survival of the Fittest in that we can like activate Survival, find Squee, discard Squee, get something else, and then the next turn we can return the Squee to our hand and then discard it again, so like we can get a card advantage engine out of Survival in addition to just selection. I made minimal changes from the original deck list as far as the main deck goes. I think I cut one Mox for a Forest, and I think I cut one Gaia's Cradle for another stable mana source. Not counting the Gaia's Cradle as initial mana sources, the original version of this deck list only had like 12 mana sources and 12 green mana sources or something like that, and that made me really nervous. So I opted for a little bit of mana stability rather than just like teensy bits more power. As far as the sideboard goes, things are pretty targeted. Dredge is real, as are other broken Bazaar decks. I wanted something to shut off Bazaars. I wanted something for the Storm-esque combo decks, or PO decks. And then, you know, we have a few other options for the Doomsday deck and Collector Oof as another bullet. Michael A donated knowing full well that this league could just absolutely be a disaster, but it will probably be fun and or funny most of the way. So vintage folks, throw me your likes. They're very much appreciated. If you have any comments about how this deck can be built better, please let me know. I think there's a lot of directions you can take this. Like you can get rid of the Thoughtseizes to play Glimpses. You can like include a natural order package. You can include a couple of Vengevines in here. Like there's a lot of very different real ways to build this deck. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let's just get in the league and battle. I have no idea how this is going to go, but I'm going to have a good time doing it. I promise you that. Okay, I have one mana source here. I have a Deathrite Shaman, which is technically a second mana source. How is this hand? Honestly, it really needs more mana. I don't know that I can keep this just based on the strength of Deathrite Shaman. If my opponent's not playing fetch lands, I just run out of mana so quick and I can't string something cool together with Survival. I think I'm going to mulligan this one and just try to find something objectively a little more powerful. I think this qualifies. This is absolutely a legacy hand. But I have the ability to like Wirewood Elvish Visionary and like do some bouncing shenanigans. So we are gonna play a fair game plan in the fashion of a bug deck here. Don't love that this Deathrite Shaman currently is not giving me mana. But that is what it is, right? Ooh, I think we're playing against a Doomsday deck here. Okay, yeah. Okay. I don't like where this is fucking going, man. Don't like where this is going at all. The vintage Doomsday piles are also really easy because you just get like 1 blue mana for Ancestral, and it's just like absolutely a free roll and hard to mess up your pile. Yeah, and you get like Lotus as well. Fucking gross. I would just like to point to my Mind Break traps and endurances in the sideboard as like something that like very knowingly went into the deck because of like starts like this. Okay. They're just giving a quick look at the deck for those of you who aren't super familiar with it. Like, there's some powerful stuff in here. Like, you get Time Walk, you get Dig Through Time, you get Gushes, Mental Misstep. Like, there's goodies here. Even Necro. Yum. Okay. Don't know that I have anything that wins here. I'm going to try to draw a card with Elvish Visionary and see if I'm wrong. I'm going to show my opponent blue and put some degree of fear in them. See if I can draw something respectable. I did not. So I want to make a green mana. I'll play a Birchlaw Ranger. I will make my green mana using Birchlaw Ranger. Not another fetch land in the graveyard for Deathrite Shaman to eat this turn. I'll just play a new Deathrite. I'm very close to just killing my opponent next turn, but they're gonna kill me this turn instead. Like that just is what it is. Yeah. And then there's the 2 mana for the Thassa's Oracle. They fetch a land out of their deck. And they've just got me. Yep. And this will be the Oracle. Concede. Alright. Traps in. Endurance in. Maybe even play Oof. What don't I want? I don't really need Rex Sage. It's going to be an extremely fast matchup. I can probably go down on some Priests. Grist does not seem super necessary here. I don't need an Elvish Reclaimer here. Then how important is the haste? Probably weird. Probably not important enough to matter. Like, if I get to the point where I'm activating survival, I'm probably just finding a hate bear rather than like finding an anger and setting up for a kill on a future turn. Like a Leovold or Collect Roof or Endurance going to my hand becomes more important. Alright. Yes. Absolutely yes. The real question here is, like, am I playing a Thoughtseize on turn 1? I think it's better to hope that I don't get turn 1 than to play the Thoughtseize on 1 because of how awkward my hand is next turn. If I play no creature this turn and double Thoughtseize, then I get, like, no mana out of this Gaia's Cradle. But in the worlds where I don't just get, like, turn 1 here, this double Thoughtseize should absolutely just rip a hole in what my opponent is doing. Okay, cool. Let's play this. I'll fire off a Thoughtseize on my opponent. This may prompt like a brainstorm or something. Okay. A Vampiric Tutor. Sure. They go down to 17. Dark Ritual Days Ponder. A little awkward for me. I guess I start with the Dark Ritual. I'll exile a land. Get another black mana. Use this to Thoughtseize my opponent. Take the Ponder out of their hand, leaving them with a Daze and 2 lands. I would be actively happy if they dazed me here. They do not. That'll be my turn. There is unfortunately now a Doomsday on top of my opponent's deck that they can just cast. Yep. So my opponent cannot go off this turn. They're like, I took their Ponder so that there was just physically no way that they could like draw the card and just get there. I need to hit some absolute piece of gas here. I can't just like easily kill my opponent. That's not going to do it. I think I use Deathrite for mana here. Pick up a green mana. Use that to cast an Elvish Visionary. Wirewood Symbiote doesn't really do what I want here. So I'll go 3 mana. Untap Deathrite Shaman. Bounce Elvish Visionary. Play Elvish Visionary. Draw a card. Redeploy a creature. Get dazed, but my opponent doesn't have to daze that. Bash in for 2. And then just like die to an Ancestral Line. Just like Ancestral, play Island, play Thassa's Oracle. It is just that easy. Yeah. Okay. I mean, we did what we could. We had 2 pieces of interaction, and like just we're 1 turn away from having the opponent dead again. GG's. Okay. This has a single mana source again. I just really have to mulligan this. Keep. Sketchy keep. Throw back the squee and just kind of hope that things go right. I think I'll lead on you. Let's just like not fuck around with counters this game. And we'll see if I can do some gross things here. Alright. So here's a Wirewood. There's 2 mana for an Elvish Visionary. None of this can be countered. And now I'll crash in for 1 point of damage. Next turn I have Ancestral into hopefully something good. Alright, what do you have? Just gonna end step Ancestral. Vamp Tutor. Are we just playing against Doomsday again? Because I'm definitely... Well, maybe not definitely. I already have 4 or 5 mana towards just activate this idiot and kill my opponent. Like, that's worth something. Okay. Yes. Okay. So let's go grab my Tropical Island here. Blue mana, Ancestral target me. Misstep, sure. I guess please don't Hullbreacher me? I don't think I'm playing around that. I'm just, like, my deck quality isn't good enough for me to play around stuff. Untap this, bounce this, replay Elvish Visionary, grab my card. This is technically counterable, but... Oh, wait, no, sorry, it's green spell, not green creatures. That's not counterable. Okay, so now I can bounce a creature and start doing survival-based shenanigans. I assume grabbing a Leovold is pretty good. I don't have, no, I do have my 3rd color for that, actually, with the Bayou that's in my hand. I also could just, like, activate an Allosaurus Shepherd and kill my opponent, right? 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, probably just killing my opponent is better than getting cute with survival. Alright. Are you gonna do, like, PO things? What the hell is this? Oh, just hard cast a Bolas's Citadel. Okay. So, one of us is dead in this turn cycle. I don't know who it's going to be, but one of us is dead. My opponent's at a low-ish life total already. Like, with my Bayou, I have lethal on board. If my opponent removes a creature, I no longer have lethal. I can maybe get back there. Alright, that was no shuffle. So now they can... Oh. Now they can play some stuff off top. Urza starts to make things scary. Ooh. Feels like a dig through time. It is a dig through time. I am still representing lethal here. Oh wait, each elf creature. I'm not representing lethal anymore. I can only attack with 2 5/5s. Okay. Ooh. Top is good here. So my opponent can spin the top, pay... Excuse me. Sorry about that. So my opponent can spin the top, put it on top of their library, draw a card, and then replay the top for 1 life. So this allows them to get past things that they otherwise like could not reasonably play. And filling up my opponent's hand. I'm not currently representing lethal, but if my opponent draws 1 more card with Sensei's Divining Top and like replays it and goes to 1, I'm representing lethal again. Because I just have more creatures than my opponent has blockers. They could just like Time Walk or something. I think it's a Lotus probably. And then they can just like play something that otherwise got stuck in their hand. Oh, okay. So they've got Urza-based mana that they're using now. Okay, they have Time Walk. Okay, sure. My opponent currently has a Mana Crypt in play that has a 50% chance of killing them. So, like, that's a thing. This is not over. Alright. Alright. Coward, Mana Crypt. Coward! Could gone in there, Mana Crypt. My opponent, like, finds a way to, sacrifice or destroy this Mana Crypt. And they don't have to worry about that scenario happening again. Opponent can't kill me yet. But that can change on a dime. Oop, nope, not yet. Narset, sure. My opponent is working really hard for someone who has like a Bolas Citadel in play and so many cards in hand. You're getting like a Tinker here. Okay. They are randomly floating some mana and doing a Narset thing. Narset finds Time Vault, which I don't care about while my opponent still has a Mana Crypt. I care a little bit about that Time Twister. All right, sure. How are you dealing with your own Mana Crypt? That's what I want to know. Like, there's a Tinker in the deck that you can use to get rid of it. You're not currently beating me in combat. Like, I just take the damage. You can find another Time Walk. Well, I guess, like, the original Time Walk, rather. Okay, sure. Nope, undo. Yep. I'll just take this hit. I need to make sure that I'm representing lethal on my next turn. I think my opponent is just like playing coin flips the matchup right now. Like their Mana Crypt kills them a huge portion of the time here. They can't get it out of play. Yep. Okay, they won the flip again. That's fine. I'm now officially going to have to junk or chump block the construct token. Sure. Blusterstorm, I don't care about that. There's a lot of mana. Are you just on Urza time? Sure. Okay, so we're going to combat. Opponent swings with both their creatures. I have to block one. I'll block with Visionary. Untap this creature. Bounce Elvish Visionary. Take 1 damage. Still technically presenting lethal here. What do you have? Nothing. You've got 9 cards. I'm so bored. Just do something that wins the game or die to your fucking Mana Crypt already. I'm good either way. Oh, right. Bolas Citadel activation. Alright, I forgot about that. Not too much to be done there. At least the game ended. Alright, what do I want here? It was kind of frustrating to just, like, lose that game to 2 coin flips and literal 1 life. Alright, I want oof. And then, like, I have a number of things that are just, like, all fine. Probably play some number of, like, Pithing Needles and Force of Vigors just to interact with my opponent. I think I'm gonna junk Anger. I'm gonna junk Reclaimer. And I'm gonna junk Endurance. I go down 1 Priest. I go down 1 Quirion Ranger. And I'm gonna go down 1 Thoughtseize. Opponent just has, like, so much card draw that, like, I don't know how great Thoughtseize is actually going to be. That's a weird hand. I think I keep it. I am not sure how to play turn 1 here. Let's just assume that, like, this isn't wrong. Just shutting off all counter spells for the rest of the game seems reasonable. I need 1 more mana source, and this can just be my opponent fetching, or me drawing any land. I need 1 more land in order for, like, me to do what I want to do with this game. Cool. You're naming Deathrite or Allosaurus Shepherd? Deathrite. Okay. So, Deathrite doesn't make mana anymore. I'll play a survival. I now get to discard Squee and get something else, but I don't have the mana to play that something else this turn. So I'll just attack for 2. Oh, cool. Alright. That's awful. Yep. I mean, this will be the test of, like, whether or not, like, this whole survival of the fittest plan is at all reasonable. Alright, I take 3 here. Go to 17. Activate survival. Discard Squee. I have so many options here. Just gonna assume that getting a new Allosaurus Shepherd is important. And then I'll go from there. Yes, a Thoughtseize. That's great. Let's lead on that and sculpt a plan. Cool. Alright, so new Allosaurus Shepherd. Just play a new Deathrite. No. No, I think I'll keep grinding my value. I'll attack for 1 with my Deathrite. I'll activate the squee, turn it into, or I'll activate the survival, turn it into a, what is this? Sure. Never mind. That kind of warps my turn a little bit. So this doesn't get Lotus, but it can just like get a different Mox. Oh fuck, I hope my opponent doesn't have Pithing Needle, and I just like punted by not activating this. Like a second Pithing Needle, rather. Okay. I mean, that's still quite bad. Cool. That fucking sucks. I'm gonna concede here. We're not winning from this position, especially with that needled. Let's try again. All right. So this is round 3. I lead on Deathrite Shaman. Then I go Cradle, have 2 mana. Probably have to play Elvish Visionary on turn 2. Start doing cute things on turn 3. Sure. I don't really feel like I'm playing with a vintage deck right now, though. We haven't put up a game win yet. And the only reason we've been close to putting up game wins is that my Doomsday opponents halved their life totals, and my other opponent almost killed themselves with a Mana Crypt. Okay. So that means that this is now free. This is 2 mana. I think I will just play this now to make my Cradle better for the next turn. More Deathrite. No lands in graveyard currently. So I'm hacking for 1. Yeah, I just don't have a real clock without without an Allosaurus Shepherd. Yep. Triple green. Okay, undo. Sure. These Deathrites can do a lot in this matchup. It's triple green again. Oh, yeah, sure, absolutely. Absolutely use your Black Lotus to do that. Sure. That opposing Deathrite Shaman's actually kind of annoying because of my squee. I guess, like, my opponent doesn't have very much mana, so I just, like, kind of price them into doing it. I guess that's fine. Exile your Wasteland. Get a green. Exile my Gaia's Cradle. Get another green. Use green for a survival. Okay, it's getting countered. I have another one for next turn. That's fine. Dunking a Fluster. I will play a Wirewood here. Misstep. Sure. Yeah. Oh, that's some shit for me. So my opponent can use some of that mana immediately. Getting like a dig through time here, or a treasure cruise. Well, he's not a Murktide Regent. Okay, cool. Yeah. My opponent is just doing considerably stronger things than what I am doing right now. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely will take that hit so that I can attack back. Okay. No real play here other than turn stuff sideways. I don't think I can like block and kill that Collector Oof in combat and turn on that Mox that my opponent played out. I think I'm effectively dead at this point. Like, my Deathrite Shaman has been made considerably worse. I can't, like, activate my Death... Yeah. Well, okay, I guess I could draw a Gaia's Cradle. Gaia's Cradle gets me out of this situation. Why? Oh, we're not attacking with it? Okay. Okay, I guess holding it back to protect the Oko is fine. Yikes, okay. I'm gonna take one more draw step and then probably just concede. Yeah. Not great for me. Just take 5 here, and my opponent like is potentially attacking for lethal amounts of damage next turn. All right, concede. So we did not beat the exceptionally fair deck here. Probably want Pithing Needles for Oko, and maybe Deathrite Shaman if things get a little weird. Probably Junk and Elvish Reclaimer. I don't think my Thoughtseizes are particularly great. Endurances are cute. I might just need to keep Thoughtseize. I think a swap like that and just like play a second one to help clear out graveyards and shrink Tarmogoyfs and stuff. I don't know, maybe that's not just better than trying to win the game. Not super hopeful here. Okay. Do I mulligan the hand that has an Ancestral Vision? That would be really, really good if I can actually cast it. The rest of the hand doesn't really do anything, so it's just like, would I get to resolve an Ancestral and have it be good? I think this one has to go back. Yes. Yes. I think I pitched the Visionary here. I'm gonna need to play this Lotus for black to both Thoughtseize and Grist. Alright, there's a Lotus. Crack for black. Thoughtseize you. Oh, my opponent's hand does nothing if I take its Abrupt Decay. Yes. Fetch. Grab a Bayou. Play a Grist. Plus a Grist. And I'll have 2 different chump blockers for an Endurance and a Gaia's Cradle that's going to get stupid big. Okay, that was the first vintage hand that we have had in this league. And I very much appreciate it happening. So all I have to do is beat my opponent's end of turn Endurance, unless they drew something cool. Oh, you're doing it now? Really? I minus Grist. Oh. Wow. Cool. I'm gonna play Deathrite Shaman. Play Gaia's Cradle. Tap for 2. Play Elvish Visionary. Draw a card. Minus Grist. Destroy an insect. Or, yeah, sacrifice an insect. Use that to destroy Oko. And then I have to try to beat 2 6/6s here. Or 2 3/3s. I'm gonna lose my Grist this turn. Yeah. Like, I can double chump block to keep Grist alive. But I don't think that puts me into a winning position. I think I just have to, like, let this go. And then kind of hope that my opponent draws blanks and I draw well. Okay. Let's grind a little bit. I'll try to hedge here. I need this Verdant Catacombs. Make a green mana. Make a bunch of green mana. Untap this creature. Returning Elvish Visionary. Play Elvish Visionary to draw a card. And do I have just, like, a big dumb creature? I can get my own Endurance. Sure. Not the banger of a play that I was hoping for, but it works in a pinch. I have 2 lands in graveyard. So I can eat one of these now. Get a green. Activate Survival of the Fittest. Pick up a Squee. Pass the turn. God damn it. That's so frustrating. Do this. Untap this. Bounce this. Exile this. Get green. Junk Squee. Need like a Birchlore Ranger here in order to, like, continue to make mana. A Gaia's Cradle is just tapped down, keeping my creatures. Yeah, I probably need a Birchlore Rangers. That's when I'm activating a Survival of the Fittest for a Birchlore Rangers, like, you know something has gone just terribly, terribly wrong. Return this to my hand. Pay for both my creatures. Okay, I missed on lands. So, cast a Birchlore. Tap 2 Elves. Play Aquarian Ranger. Untap Birchlore Ranger by bouncing Bayou. Replay Bayou. Get 2 mana here with an Elvish Visionary. Found a new land drop for next turn. I guess I'll attack for 1 with a Wirewood. Like, if you have a Hull Breacher as your last card, like, so fucking be it. I might be getting ahead here. I'm just gonna die to a Wasteland, though. Like, absolute snap concede to a Wasteland, destroying my Gaia's Cradle here. Okay. So these crash in. I'll do the same dance again. I'll block one of these. Then untap a Deathrite Shaman. Bounce Elvish Visionary. Take 3 damage. See if my opponent fetches. They don't. So that'll be turn for me. Pay for all 4 of these creatures. And see what I draw. Honestly not bad. I have like 3 lands. Or 3 mana, rather. I can activate Survival and get like a 2-drop. I can just get a Priest of Titania here. Let's do that. Discard Squee. Pick up Priest. Get some mana. Play Priest. Crash in for 2. Oh, I forgot to play my Elvish Visionary that I intended on bouncing. That's probably fine. Like, I think I just kill my opponent on my turn by playing Allosaurus Shepherd. Activating. That's, what, 7 total mana? I think I can probably make that work. Sure. Yeah, I'll just eat this damage. Go to 5. And I'll just pay for all of these. And once that's done, I'll just bounce Squee back to my hand. Ancestral. Cool. Just have to make sure I don't randomly die to something here. I think I'm fine. So, play Allosaurus Shepherd. It can't be countered. Activate for 6 mana. Do this. Now, Burian Ranger. Untap Priest. Bounce a Forest. I now have 4 5/5s that just get to attack, and that kills my opponent. Okay. It took 3 rounds, but we now have a game win with this deck. We beat a Tabernacle, which is impressive. Do I need some number of endurances just as something with a 3/4 butt? I think this game's slow enough that I don't need anger. I can sub in one of these for that. I could also play an Elvish Reclaimer, but like, I just ate all the lands out of my graveyard using Deathrite. I was so mana hungry. I think Thoughtseizes on the draw loses out on a lot of oomph, though. That could get me Reclaimer, Endurance. I don't want to play any of this other stuff. I don't want to play Anger. I'll keep one. I'll keep a Miser's Thoughtseize. How about that? Looking at an okay opening hand. I'll keep this. It's not really unfair. Yeah, my opponents have vintage starts, and I really don't. Like, it's really hard for me to get a vintage start. Like, that Grist one was one. But, like, my opponent just ended up doing something better. No shuffle with the Ponder. At least I'm not... Oh. Oh my god. So fucking lucky. Holy cow. Okay. Yeah, I mean, let's just not get countered, right? Let's just not get countered. I'm not gonna play the Jet yet. That is what it is. Deathrite's pretty good for my opponent here. Just makes my Elvish Reclaimer considerably worse. I think I want to just draw a card this turn. I want to try to find a Gaea's Cradle. Like, Gaea's Cradle is going to be the sort of thing that allows me to just start going off and doing something that matters. Wow. You pitched a Treasure Cruise? Holy shit. Alright. I'll play the Elvish Reclaimer and then use that to tutor into a, whatchamacallit? Gaea's Cradle. No, I won't. My opponent just, like, invalidates my Elvish Reclaimer attack by tapping Deathrite Shaman. But I don't die in combat, so I guess it's fine. Attack for 3. Yep. Opponent figured out what's what. So they could have blocked and not taken any damage there. They did not. I'll play a Wirewood. I guess I should not F6 if I have a Wirewood. What do you got? This could be like Oko time. Oh, it's a dig through time, which is why they were willing to pitch Treasure Cruise. Sure. Does this do anything? Does this actually do anything versus me? I don't think it does, right? Because the survival thing is just going to my hand. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to grab a Cradle this turn. Hit with these 2 creatures for 2. Grab Cradle, and then try to do something cool with survival. My opponent might be afraid of Vengevine, which is, like, totally reasonable. God damn it. I'm just going to, like, lose to a Wasteland. Alright. So, activate Reclaimer. Sacrifice Tropical Island to do so. Pick up a Gaea's Cradle. But this was supposed to let me go ham. Not just, like, protect my creatures. Alright. I'll fetch. I guess Time Walk and Ancestral are more important at this point. I'm going to play the Survival here. And I'll attack for 3. And my opponent can just, like, eat a land out of my graveyard to stop that. Okay, this time around they figured out the line. Yep, so now they eat one of my things, shrinking it to a 1/2, and no damage actually gets through. That's fine. Opponent has to pay for their Deathrite Shaman here. I guess I'm in the better position. I've got a survival in play. Pay my tax. Yavimaya. I don't love this land in that, like, it gives my opponent 1 more mana. Let's discard a Squee. And play something that's 2 mana this turn. I believe I just get a Priest of Titania this turn. Just play the Yavimaya. Play that. And then work towards something cool next turn. Yeah. I think that's poor timing on my opponent's end. They take 3 damage for tapping like that. Which I'm good with. Opponent drops to 14. We'll see whether or not they realize that they can use Tabernacle as mana. Sure. This is all fine. I'm now pulling ahead. An Allosaurus Shepherd activation just kills my opponent at some point. Alright, I'll pay my taxes here. And then let's see what I draw. Oh, land. That's whatever. Like, it's helpful. An official land out of my deck. Grab a Bayou. This is basically just free to do here. Guess I should have tapped Yavimaya and Forest for this. A new Priest of Titania. That's fine. I'll play that. That puts my creature count up to 6. I activate Allosaurus Shepherd. Go to combat. Oh, I should have untapped this. That's fine. Okay. Opponent is making mana. Oh, they're just they're straight up just shrinking. Going to 4. Okay, sure. Are you keeping these death rights? Okay. So what's the plan? Okay, yeah. Okay. We have a match win. Although if I'm being honest, like, my opponent didn't really do much this game, right? Like, they played a Grafdigger's Cage that had no text. And then, like, they pitched a Treasure Cruise on a Force to stop me from having a Mox. I don't know. We'll take it. Hey, you. Yeah, you. You subscribed to my YouTube channel yet? You are? Great. That's good. Some of you out there, you're not. You're watching my content? The algorithm. The algorithm is just feeding me to you, and that's fine too. But if you want to find me again, consider subscribing. Okay, back to the show. Okay, auto mulligan, no mana sources. Yes. Yes, I'll keep this. However, I lose to anything that stops this Black Lotus from happening. That could be a sphere effect, that could be a counter spell. Alright. YOLO. Please, 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 please. Oh my god, thank you. Alright. Triple green, Allosaurus Shepherd into Priest so that I actually produce mana. And now I just kind of hope that these cards make it back around the table. Because I'm dead if this Priest does not. Oh, okay. Alright, no initial removal spells at least. Okay, there's an Urza Saga. Not immediately worried about that. It's removal that just horrifies me here. Okay. Fuck. Alright. We lose. Good game. It is what it is, right? I'll tag for 1. Oh, my opponent to 18. They'll get something big stupid into play that I can't beat. Yep. What is that? That's so beatable. That's a 7/8. I thought we were gonna get, like, fucking Grizzlebranded. Oh, hold on. Whenever you cast a spell. That's every time. Okay. Never mind. That might still be unbeatable. I thought it was when you cast this spell. Yeah, this is probably not beatable then. My opponent gets another creature next turn as well. Yeah, I have no mana sources. I need to draw Gaia's Cradle here. That's kind of the... Yeah. I think unless I draw a Gaia's Cradle, I just have no game here. I also just, like, lose. My deck just straight up loses to Oath of Druids. There's, like, basically nothing I can do about it. I guess I have to play all my Force of Vigors and pray. All right, I'm gonna concede. Let's move to the next game. All right. I think probably just Force of Vigors. And I don't have a window to stop Oath of Druids with Endurance. So let's board that out. Board the Anger out here, and he'll board out 1 survival. This hand doesn't do anything. I vomit Elves, and my opponent plays an Oath, and I die. I don't think this wins a game of Magic here. What about this one? This has a survival. I can pitch a Priest to get a Hate Bear, but this hand, again, doesn't really do anything. This is the best of the hands that I've seen so far. I'm going to keep this. Land, Deathrite. Put back 2 of these cards. 1 Deathrite Shaman goes back. And then I pick 1 of Ancestral and Leovold to keep. I think there's a better... Could get rid of Birchlore. Get rid of Birchlore. We're kind of swinging for the fences here in terms of making this hand work. I'm going to get Trop. Play the Deathrite. And then go for a turn 2 Leovold. I'm getting Mental Misstepped. That's one of the punishes for trying to get greedy and keep both of these cards. Now my Gaia's Cradle doesn't actually produce mana. Which is bad. Sensei's Divining Top. Okay, sure. I mean, you used your misstep. Another Gaia's Cradle. Yeah, I mean, this is not an initial mana source, as you can see. And this is why I cut one of them from the deck, because like when you either don't have a creature or you don't have a first mana source to get your creatures going, it's rough. Oh, okay, so there's Vault Key in there as well. Sure. All right, a Bayou. That's not bad. Here's a Reclaimer. Play a land. Here's a Wirewood Symbiote. There's a Quarian Ranger. And next turn I can play a Leovold and have something that meaningfully interacts with my opponent. My opponent will spin their top end of turn. Opponent's floating 2 mana for something here. Okay. I lose. Cool. So I'll tap Cradle and pay for all of that. Pick up a Deathrite. I think if I'm going to have any chance at winning the game, I have to stop my opponent from drawing cards. So I'm going to Legend Rule this Gaia's Cradle here. And then drop this Leovold into play. As well as the Deathrite Shaman. Get in there, bud. I'll crash in for 3. Opponent drops to 15, and they get Horror. Their Oath Trigger. Oh. That does technically target. Okay. That's interesting. Alright, there's the Horror. Now it's a question of, like, how many spells can you rattle off? Versus, can I somehow get a win with an Allosaurus Shepherd? Alright. It begins. I assume the Leovold has to happen first, so that my opponent doesn't continuously give me cards. Yep, alright. Yes, I use this ability. Grab a Visionary. Leovold gets bounced. Luckily, this can't just return lands. Yep, okay. I mean, top activation is totally fine with me. Anything that is not removing one of my permanents from play is a win for me. Okay, they're drawing a card with the top. Are we going to see the Manifold Key trick? We are. So they then untap the top and then tap it again to draw a new card and then kind of get a draw 2 out of their Sensei's Divining Top activation, which is pretty strong. I don't think this is better than just like vomiting permanents and bouncing my stuff, but maybe they need to just get deeper to get to Moxen or something. Okay. I lose my stuff. Fine. Alright. I'm gonna just concede here. We're not getting out of this. So we're 1-3 right now. Okay, I've only got a single mana source for this hand. This just has to go back. It doesn't do enough. This has no initial mana source. Okay. 1 Allosaurus Shepherd goes back. And then probably a land. I think I just have to keep these other things to be competitive. It's possible I could throw the Priest back. But if I get something going with Elvish Visionary, or if I want to activate Allosaurus Shepherd, I really do just need this. Alright. My stuff's uncounterable. Alright, it sticks, because, you know, that's what Allosaurus Shepherd does. We'll see if my opponent has removal. Okay. They do. Yep, okay. What's the follow-up? Okay. Opponent has pretty respectable start. I'm going to value attempting to get mana for next turn pretty highly. I think I need to vomit some spells to catch up. My opponent's just going to get like 2 constructs here. They're going to be way bigger than my creatures. I'm going to have to win the game fast. And I think I need mana to do that. Alright, so Urza Saga ticks up. Opponent's construct is going to start small, but once I have the second one and then fish something out of their library, it's pretty bad for me. What is this? What spell is good enough that they don't want? Oh, did they just like rip Tinker? Tinker would be pretty bad for me. A Dak Faden. That better than Construct? It does not feel better than Construct to me. Oh, maybe their hand was just quite bad. Sure, I guess that's reasonable then. Alright. I go ahead and thin 1 land out of my library. It's super marginal, but I'm going to go ahead and do that here. Play a Visionary. Draw my card. It's a Wirewood. That's not nothing. I'll play Quirion Ranger. I'll get 3 mana. I think I'll just play out both of my cards rather than try to get a bounce draw card this turn. Actually, I can bounce a forest, untap Priest, get 4 mana, draw a card. Untap Priest, bounce forest, 4 mana. Untap Priest, bounce Visionary, play Visionary. Hello! Draw Allosaurus Shepherd. All this stuff summoning sick except the Priest, and I've activated Quirion Ranger and Wirewood Symbiote already. So I'm just going to hold this back, because holding this back means that I can just activate Allosaurus Shepherd in order to play around a Lightning Bolt effect. Okay, we did a vintage thing. See if my opponent does a better vintage thing. So Saga ticks up. Alright, they found Lotus. My opponent does only have 3 cards. There's Worlds. There's Timelines. Okay, ponder away. That was a quick shuffle. Oh, triple black. Emo Tutor. Presumably for like a Tinker? Breach. Okay. There's a Lotus. Now what? Do triple blue. Okay, they have the Brain Freeze. So I'm deterministically just dead to that, unfortunately. Okay. GG. We're playing against a Breach deck. I have a bunch of things that are, like, fine. Endurance is fine. Leyline is fine. Mindbreak Trap is fine. None of those things are, like, great. I have to play some amount of this stuff. Go Anger out. Go Reclaimer out. First can blow up Planeswalkers. I'll probably keep that. Now the question is, like, how much of my engine can I take apart and still be a reasonable deck? Like, maybe I don't play traps and I play these cards. I don't know, like, Trap requires... Trap exiles, which is nice. At what point do I just say, like, fuck it, and board out all these cards to play Hate? Right now? It might be right now. Like, if I board out the thing that my deck is built around, I can board out 2 more cards and then just play a huge density of Hate. Sure. Maybe I'll go the Rex Sage out. And then, I don't know. Maybe just 2 Endurances. Hey, it's a Time Walk. I'll keep this hand. I need more mana. But if my opponent fetches or I draw a land, I think I have a pretty reasonable hand here. I'm going to lead on Deathrite on the hopes that it's good. This exposes this to Mental Misstep and like Lightning Bolt and stuff, but I think that is what it is. Okay. My opponent plays a Mox. I will just force to Vigor their Mox in their land. I think I'm not going to do that immediately. Thoughtseize. No? Feels like no. I cast this. Attack for 1 with the Deathrite. I'm gonna hold this Force of Vigor as my like piece of interaction to stop my opponent's combo. If they do something. Like I really want to get 1-for-1 value out of Force of Vigor if possible. Ugh. Alright. Let's Thoughtseize my opponent here. Just auto Force of Will. I'm gonna attack for 2, and then I think I have to Force of Vigor Urza Saga in my opponent's upkeep. Probably pitching this second Priest of Titania. Does not feel good, but I can't let my opponent get the Lotus here, I don't think. Alright, they're floating a mana. I assume they do nothing with. Yes, they do nothing with it. Okay. So, now I'm going to eat this Urza Saga. Pick up a green mana. Use that to play a Priest of Titania. And then, hopefully in some capacity between Allosaurus Shepherd, Priest, and Time Walk, I can put together a win here. My opponent gets Lotus next turn. I think I'm in trouble. I would like them to fetch so I can play Time Walk. Oh my god. Okay. Play Quarian Ranger. Tap this for 4. Untap Priest of Titania by bouncing Bayou. Play Bayou. Play Deathrite Shaman. Play Wirewood Symbiote. Tap Priest of Titania. Wirewood Symbiote. Untap Priest of Titania. Bounce Quarian Ranger. Play Quarian Ranger. Activate Allosaurus Shepherd. 15. I will admit, that was pretty fucking cool. We have done the thing. Bug. Oh, okay. Opponent has a response now. A little surprised. It seems like anything they... Oh wait, they can make an Urza Saga construct. That's right. Okay. So they'll take 10. Going to 4. Wait. Okay, hold on. So this Quarian Ranger is active. So I can, now that my... Okay, yeah. So, green. Untap Deathrite Shaman. Return this forest. Exile your Flooded Strand from the graveyard. Making blue. Cast Time Walk. Hey! Alright. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's do that again. Do I want ley lines? I think if I focus too heavily on my opponent's graveyard-based combo, I'll just, like, lose to, like, random, like, Dak Fade and Tinker type stuff. I might play one more Endurance on the draw, though. I could also straight up just, like, play Pithing Needle for Urza Saga. Just, like, cover that axis as well. Thoughtseize is considerably worse on the draw here. Considerably worse. I'll board out Grist for a Needle, and then trim. Honestly, I can probably just, like, trim a piece of artifact mana. Like, that doesn't make green. This hand's fine. A little hard to sequence, but fine. I'm gonna be keeping it. Like, Deathrite is what happens on turn 1, I think. It's just, like, if I don't play Deathrite on 1 and I play Allosaurus Shepherd, then none of my stuff is ever exposed to counterspells, and I have a couple of things in hand that I very much want to resolve. I'll absolutely just Force of Vigor both of those. No question. I can wait. Ahem. It will still Force of Vigor. Let's fetch. Grab a Bayou with how this hand is looking. Probably play Oof on turn 2 over anything else now. I'm going to play Allosaurus Shepherd. This makes my green spells uncounterable, meaning Force of Vigor is just insane. 1, 2, pitch. All these cards are reasonable. I'm going to pitch Endurance. Uncounterable. Yes. Do something with your 3 colorless mana in your upkeep. I will be impressed. Yep. Okay. Another one. Cool. So I'll make my attack for 1. Yeah. Opponent goes to 19. I'll fetch a Trop. I'll just play an Oof. Just absolutely shut off the artifact mana here. And I'll win eventually by activating an Allosaurus Shepherd. I'm not, like, too worried about it. What do you have? Yeah. That's a glorified Explore here. Okay. I probably end up Force of Vigoring that. Sure. I think I let my opponent just do that and then decide whether or not I'm gonna Force of Vigor. Really don't want my opponent to have constructs here. I'm gonna take the draw step. Visionary. I will play that. Like, if I hit a land, I'm pretty happy going like land, Deathrite Shaman, pitch Leovold. Did. Or alternatively, I pitch Deathrite Shaman and then play Leovold the next turn, making Dak worse. Dak's gonna die the following turn anyway, though. I always play that. I always attack Dak. Send Dak to 1. That's fine. I think I'm gonna pitch Deathrite Shaman and make Leovold my next play. Target Urza Saga. Pitch Deathrite. Yeah, you can float your mana. Alright, so Dak gets to filter their draw. And then uncounterable Leovold happens. For sure. Discard Urza Saga and Scalding Tarn. Alright, they get to Ancestral. That's pretty good after like multiple 2-for-1s in my direction. Sending all 4 creatures at Dak on my turn. Can't fuck around with the Lightning Bolt messing me up here. Get him. Okay. I mean, this is why I played around that. Dak's dead. Green, blue, black. And I have a Leovold with an awkward Mindbreak Trap backup. I guess I could have played Leovold pre-combat there. Probably ends up in the same spot though. Narset is fine. Narset draws a card without formally drawing a card. That's a repeal. Sure. Wirewood Symbiote. Okay. So Leovold kills Narset. And I'll attack my opponent to 15. Good. Play a Wirewood. Untap a Leovold. Bouncing an Elvish Visionary. And I'll draw a card with my Visionary. Position's okay. It's not amazing. My opponent outright dies to me drawing a Gaea's Cradle. Is repeal on Leovold. Yes, I will use this ability to draw a card. Leovold gets bounced. They get to draw their card for repeal. Yep, you get to see my hand with a Taxian Probe. I've got a trap. Alright, that's end of turn. I'll fish a random land out of the deck. Oh shit, it should have been a trap so I could hard cast Mindbreak Trap. Nice, okay. Guess Thoughtseize first. I will take that Demonic Tutor. Opponent's at 4 of 8 mana for Sphinx. I think I'm just going to ignore the fact that that could potentially be hard cast this game. I'll replay Leovold, and I'll crash in for 3. Man, I really hope that Mindbreak Trap play doesn't, that like wrong fetch line doesn't come back to bite me. I think a lot of times I end up just like using my mana to draw cards anyway, rather than holding up Mindbreak Trap, but, you know, it's a thing. Like, for example, right now, I would have 100% just played Leovold out again rather than held up mana for Mindbreak Trap. Okay, if that resolves, are you going to name Wirewood or are you going to name Allosaurus Shepherd? Verdant Catacombs. Okay, so they're going to leave me with everything. Just try to keep me from being able to hardcast a Mindbreak Trap. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and attack on in. There's some fringe lines where Gaea's Cradle is the top card of my library, where I don't actually want to do that. Untap Leovold, bounce Elvish Visionary, play Elvish Visionary, play land, play new Wirewood Symbiote, untap you, bounce Elvish Visionary, replay Elvish Visionary, and opponent's facing lethal. Opponent has to combo off through both Leovold and Mindbreak Trap here. Seems unlikely, given that, like, I know they have a minimum of 1 dead card in hand. So this is a dig through time. Ooh, with different art. What am I looking at? Oh, it's a dog. That's a tail. Okay. Alright, there is the concession, and we somehow end up with a 2-3 in this league. Overall thoughts on the deck list. Don't play this. You probably knew that from looking at the deck list in the beginning, right? This is a deck that is just too slow by vintage standards. Like, we have something powerful that we can do, but it just happens more slowly and requires more moving pieces than a lot of other vintage decks do. Like, Doomsday is a single card combo that more or less wins the game after you play 3 black mana, right? Similarly, the shop's decks are looking to like tap 1 land and effectively win the game in a lot of cases by playing a Chalice or a Turn Sphere that locks someone out. And we're looking to play a Survival of the Fittest and then activate it maybe about 4 times in order to set up something interesting. Like there's just such a huge differential in speed here. I will say, I wish that we had just played Vintage Elves, like straight up cut all this crap, like play Priest of Titania, Allosaurus Shepherd, like turbo Allosaurus Shepherd activate with Cradle and stuff. I like that portion of the deck was pretty respectable. Just Allosaurus Shepherd just saying like, no, you don't get to counter my stuff ever. I think if we had taken that direction, maybe with glimpses or with natural orders, like with something else to finish, I think like maybe we could have done a little bit better. The survival package was cool, but it was pretty rare that like survival would have been better than just like a green sun. Like the squee thing was cute. It allowed us to grind some matchups, but like never did we just go like 7 mana, survival, discard squee, discard anger, get Allosaurus Shepherd, activate in 1 turn, lethal you immediately. Like that sort of thing didn't happen due to the degree of interaction and counter spells and such that this format has. I will say sideboard felt pretty good. Like I felt like the bases were covered there. So if you end up wanting to try some sort of elves adjacent deck list, maybe keep the sideboard and try to replace the survival package with some other stuff. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. Things looked up a little bit more towards the end of the league here. Have a great rest of the day. Consider throwing me a like or a subscription if you haven't already done so. And if you want to see a more normal vintage deck on the channel, donation information is available in the video description. Have a great rest of the day. See ya!